How to use the Splat tool to create a 3D isometric sketch of your hand surfer. So from looking at your sketches in your folios, a lot of you have got good sketches. It's just that you have the habit of sketching in 2D, which is okay, but what we can see here, right, with my isometric sketch, as rough as it is, okay, it does provide a lot more detail than the 2D sketches, and it makes it look more realistic. If I had to show this detail on a 2D sketch, I'd have to sketch my plan view, my elevation looking in from this direction, and an in view maybe from that direction. So I can show basically the same details on one isometric sketch as 3 2D sketches. So again, right, a lot more detail, and it makes it look more realistic. So what I'm going to use is my Splat tool, and I'm going to start towards the bottom of the page. Beauty about my Splat tool is it allows me to do it so easily and quickly. So again, right, with isometric sketches, vertical lines will remain vertical and your horizontal lines are projected at 30 degrees. So Splat tool allows me to easily do that so quickly. Okay, so you can see here, just take that in a bit more, line that back up, and it allows me to have my vertical and 2 horizontals at 30. So what you get then is a ruler. A straight edge is a straight edge, and same to my left hand side, project back here. Okay, what I'm going to do now is, if say you'll have a ruler, okay, what you can do is maybe just scale down the measurements of your length of your hand surfer, or else you can just eyeball it, but just make sure you have your proportions right if you're eyeballing it. So I'm going to be happy enough maybe going as far as here. Again, you can use your ruler and scale it down if you want. So I'm going to line up my Splat tool at my 30 degree line and just draw in my vertical line. If you can see there, it might be hard to see, I just kind of have marked off a distance there, and I'll use that as my thickness. Again, you can just use your ruler and mark your thickness. Again, I don't have a ruler, so I'm going to line up my Splat tool here, and I'm going to mark off my thickness on this side. So if I have 2 points, then I can draw a straight line. So back with my straight edge. And I like to use a blue pencil as well, as opposed to just using a pencil lightly. I like the blue pencil because, as you can see here, right, I suppose it allows me to see my outline and my construction lines without taking away from the finished object. So it's just a nice touch to use a light blue pencil for your construction lines. Again, use your ruler to measure back this way. I'm kind of happy enough with that distance I have there, and I'm going to step off my height again here. So line up my Splat tool like that. Just mark off that height, and I'll bring this back over, line up it up with my 30 degree line, and extend up perfectly. Okay, get my straight edge and just join that back to my height and the vertical line. So you'll find that a lot easier when you're using a ruler. Now I just got to complete my outline box. So I'm going to line up my Splat tool again with my vertical line and get my 30 degree line going back this way, and the same for this one here. So you can see, right, how easy the Splat tool is, and it allows us to keep our lines parallel. And to be honest, it's really easy as opposed to having to do it by eye. And this would be so much easier if I brought home a ruler. So extend your 30 degree line back this way, and the same on the other side. Okay, so there's my outline box. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by sketching in the top of my hand surfer on the very top face here. Okay, so I'm going to use my pencil again. You can use your ruler, okay? What I'd like to do here is find the center line of my top of my box. So roughly there. Let's say roughly here. Okay, you can use your ruler to make this accurate. Yeah, so I'm going to pick a point here, and you can go, same here again, you'll have your ruler, right? You can make it more accurate. So that's where my tail is going to be, and then I'll actually start by sketching it in. So again, join the points, still using my blue pencil because I'm not done yet. So hold it nice and long, that's that joined up. Now I'm going to maybe have a straight edge here on my board. I'll have it straight on the other side as well, so mark it off with your rulers. I'm eyeballing mine. You can do the same, or you can use a ruler. Just make sure proportions are correct, okay? Now I'm going to incorporate my nose, okay? So I'm going to have a little curve in my nose. So I'm going to start from here and bring it back to my center point. Okay. Pick that point here, so I'll do it as far as here, kind of. So I'll start my curve from there. beauty about the blue pencil is you can keep going over it till you kind of get an outline you're happy with. Okay, you can keep. So curves are difficult enough. So when you use the blue pencil or a light construction pencil, keep going over till you're happy with that. So I'm quite happy with that shape there now. So that's the top of my hand surfer in place. Again, you can use your ruler and we can add in the thickness basically. So project that straight down, like so, hit your outline box, project that straight down to hit the outline box, and we were straight as far as here, so straight down again, and this can go straight down. I can just copy this angle here, so line it up, bring it straight down, so it's parallel. Okay, what we're looking for the whole time is parallel. If it's not parallel, it just won't look right. Okay, so go back over that with my blue pencil. Like that, I'm happy with that. Again, line up my straight edge, my ruler, bring that down. We're looking for a parallel line there again. Okay, so over that with my pencil. It's already in there, so just go over that. You can see, right, the blue pencil does make it a lot easier. It makes it look kind of, I suppose, smart as well. And the curve now is tricky enough. Okay, so again, we're going to extend here and we're going to keep, I suppose, going with our blue pencil till we get a shape we're happy with. And I'm going to drop a straight line down here. And I'm just going to keep trying to get my curve parallel to what it is on top. So I want this curve to be parallel to that. So again, with the blue pencil, keep trying to get it the same till you're happy with it. So I'm happy enough with that. Like so, okay. If I had a rubber now, I'd rub it out as well. That's annoying me. Didn't bring a rubber home. Next, I'm going to put in my stringer part here in the center, okay? So bring back my straight edge. I'm just going to lightly join the center to the center. Okay. And let's just say we have our stringer is like, I don't know what thickness it is. Maybe would it be, we'll just say, I don't know, whatever it was, 20 mil maybe, was it 15 mil? But you can just eyeball it, and even if you don't want to eyeball it, you can scale down your measurements. You can use your ruler. So if you're using a ruler, just step off maybe whatever you scaled, same distance either side of your center line. You can same up here, so roughly about that, and that. Okay, and yeah, so I can, yeah, just, so yeah, once you use your ruler, step off the measurement either side of your center lines. That gives you 2 points, and once you have 2 points, you can draw a straight line. Okay, so my measurement is actually off a bit there, so I'm just going to use my straight edge, and use my straight edge. This would be so much easier if I had a ruler. Okay, so there's my stringer now in place here, so I'm going to heavy that in with my blue pencil, and you can go over to your ruler, right? Okay, so there's my stringer. Happy enough with that. Now you can put in your handle as well if you want, or let's just say if you have, some of you might maybe have like a cutout, you can sketch that in as well. I'm not going to do that in my one. I don't really need to, but what else is there? Yeah, if you have your logo design as well, you can sketch that in. So just remember, right, maybe sketch in your logo design or your handle, or say whatever cutout you have here before you put in your stringer. Well, you can do it afterwards, but you just have to make sure you put in your stringer a bit light for them parts. So what I'm going to do now is grab a fine liner. So our stringer is kind of a darker color, so I'm going to do that with a kind of a dark brown. You know, the fast way to do it is just hold the pencil long and sketch like that. Okay, we don't have to be here for ages doing it. Hold the pencil long, run your finger across like that. Okay, and just try to make sure there's no white spaces. Now to give it the grain effect, what I might do is just hold down the pencil a bit heavier and drag it along. Again, rather than trying to keep it at 30 degrees, but this can be done freehand because we know, right, the grain is never going to be a straight line, so it makes it even look more realistic. But just have it so it's a bit darker than the first bit of shading you've done. Okay. And that will make the grain pop out. So you can see there now how it looks like a grain. It looks like the grain. For, I think it's my Paulina wood, I'm just going to use a light yellow pencil. let's just say you had it rendered, right, and you forgot to add your logo design and your handle. What you could do is use your annotations and maybe like use your arrow like that, and over here then you could have your like a almost like a zoomed in version, and you could show your logo design, and you'll say logo design goes here. And you could sketch in your logo design. Let's just say it's a circular. Let's just say something like that, okay? And that shows your logo design then. That adds extra detail there as well. You could add the handle maybe here or something. Okay, and you could just sketch in again what your handle would look like. Okay, like so. But really, very simple to use. Splat tool, lads, make sure you're using it, okay? It does a serious job, and it makes it a lot faster and easier to keep your lines parallel at 30 degrees.